Welcome to Plumber Parts. Today I'm going to tell you how to cut, thread and then perfectly seal up a bit of pipe. Now most people don't do threading of pipe because usually you guys are working on copper or plastic or something like that, but this is an important skill to know if you want to up your game in the world of plumbing, or you're just having to work on this type of pipe anyway. So today I'm going to be working on a little bit 1/2 inch galvanized steel, but this will work for 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, 1.5 inch, etc, etc, etc. So without further ado, let's get on with the video. And remember, to hold tight. What you will need is some Loctite 55 pipe threading seal. This stuff is the best stuff. Well, the main reason for me is that it actually binds up and locks up the threads. So if you're doing work on something like an outside tap or something like that, usually you'll find things like PTFE will not actually lock it up and the tap ends up spinning around. With this stuff, it won't happen. And also it's really, really handy on hot and cold potable water. You can use it on gas lines. You can use it on hydrogen. There's loads of stuff. I'll put up on the screen now what you can use it on. Ding! What you'll need after that is a thing to cut it with. I've got my very lazy automatic Bosch cutting saw here, which will do the trick. And then after you've done that, you'll actually need something to cut in and thread the pipe, a nice threading kit. So we've got our 1/2 inch thread there, 3/4 inch, 1.5 inch, and then we've got a ratchet for that, a pipe cutter, and also a couple of little arms on there. If you don't have a threading kit, and a lot of people don't, you can just hire them from hire companies around the world. You can hire this one actually if you like, £1,000 a day. So what we want to do is join up this little bit of brass here onto this pipe here. Now one thing I would say, always be aware of what metals are touching what, okay? Because we can have them, they can start to rot if the wrong metals are touching each other. But for the description purposes of how we actually cut, thread, seal, and then tighten up this piece on here, we're going to be using these two particular materials today. We've got a 1/2 inch pipe and we want to get this over to what, this is actually the female side of a 15mm compression fitting for copper. So this is a great way to know how to convert steel, BSP, over to copper. So number one, we cut the pipe. It don't get much easier than that in life. I really have to clean my shed up, just so you know, everybody. Why are you doing a wide shot of my shed now? So we're only doing this, we're just putting these handles in here because sometimes, especially if you're doing this on 1.5 inch pipe, you really do need quite a lot of power. And let's face it, I'm a strong lad, I can lift things, all that sort of stuff, but I don't have the power without a big long arm to do it. So we put that on there like that. Then we choose which one of our threads. So we've got our 1/2 inch on here. This is the one we're going to be doing. Right, we then can sit our threading piece in here. And as you can see, it's a ratchet, okay? So we want to be going, so we're cutting into this pipe here. So if we pop this on here like so, and we go like that, we see that that's ratcheting at the moment, so it's going the wrong way. So we pull out this little knob here, we turn that around like so, and now that is actually ready for us to pull in. Now, what I do is get something that I can push this way on it, okay? And if you've got anything, I mean, you can even use a little bit of any kind of grease or something like that. You can use that to get this so it starts off and cuts nicely. So we're just going to do this like that. And this usually takes a few minutes just to get that cutting and going. Some of the lucky dudes out there are going to have motorised versions of these now, but we don't have that here at Plumber Parts Land. It doesn't matter, I can train me hombros, shoulders. We just keep on going until we've got about 5 to 10 threads sticking out. I generally just go to the end of the cut, but sometimes that can be a bit far, it just depends. That'll do for me. We flick that back the other way, and then you'll see all your shavings come falling out. Now, all the shavings, the metal that we've just taken out of there. Right, there we go. Now we have a nice joint there. Now, obviously, if we just screwed this on here like this now, there's no way we would be able to get that watertight whatsoever. But also, it would move up and down, okay? So we have to seal this. I know this is basic for some of you, but we do sometimes have to tell you to do this. You have to seal it. So we're going to use Loctite 55 pipe sealing cord. Now this particular one that we've got here has been improved from the old version that I've got in my toolbox. But the fact that the old version used to have a cap that you'd always lose, And also, now that the cap's all integrated in, we can now pull out our Loctite and then easily cut it off just like so. This is a huge improvement on PTFE and also horse's hair and hemp, which I've done a little short on that hopefully you'll see. And the great thing about it is that we've got the sealing and also the kind of gripping capabilities all in one place. That's why it's so much better than PTFE, because PTFE just allows the joint to slip. And like I said, that means outside taps, things like that. If you're turning them off, sometimes you can unwind them, you get a leak and it's a nightmare. With Loctite 55, you do not get that. On the back, we've got a recommended amount of turns for the pipe size. So we've got 1/2 inch, what we're working on today, 6 to 8 turns. Now, it always says, and people never do this, wind into the first pitches of the thread, continue across the pitches, across in the direction of the thread. If we didn't do that, so let's just do it deliberately wrong, okay? So we put it in here like so, and we go back like that. Firstly, we're probably never even going to get to this thread, but also the action of us tightening this up can do, and this will happen with horse's hair, hemp, PTFE, and Loctite 55. It'll actually pull out the product, and we won't end up with a nice watertight seal. So this is the way to do it. Number one, first bit into that piece of pipe there, into our first thread, okay? Nice and lightly, just pop that in there like that, and then that's nipped. And then so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now with the last bit, try and take it up out of the way a little bit, get your bit cut off, like that. How easy is that? And then look, boom, all done with the Loctite. And then we can just pop that up and away from the finish, okay? So I'm just moving it, lapping it up and away a little bit. Now, as you can see, it's nice and clean. And then really, it's a very simple job here now. You just tighten this up here, like so. I mean, that's gonna be watertight already. Me just tightening it up like that, but don't worry. Overkill with a set of Stilsons, but don't matter. There we go, and look. Seriously, I just love Loctite. Those of you who've watched Plumber Parts for years and years and years will know that I've used it for donkeys, absolutely donkeys. Look how clean that is as well. And the grip that is now on this fitting, there's no way that's going to come off. And if you ever just want to clean off the end, you just press in what hasn't been used, and there you go, that's all done. So there's how you seal up and convert all cut and thread steel pipe over to any other type using steel fittings, using the amazing brand new Loctite 55 and its new flip top cap container. What an absolute beast of a product, plus a set of threaders and a cutter. Well done Loctite, you've done it again.